When the top assassin picked up the toy soldiers, he only tossed them lightly onto the table. But unexpectedly, this provoked a deadly disaster. Because just as he walked a few steps away, the toy soldiers suddenly fell onto the floor. And when Jack turned back again, he found that this group of toy soldiers had vanished into thin air. He suddenly heard strange noises coming from the kitchen. Driven by curiosity, he immediately began fumbling around the kitchen. Yet, in the next second, when Jack pulled something out from his foot, his face instantly showed disbelief, because what was stuck in his foot turned out to be a toy gun. Realizing something was wrong, Jack quickly bent down to check under the sofa. But in the blink of an eye, his neck was burned with over a dozen small scars. And before he could react, more small bursts of fire were shot out from under the sofa, followed by a tiny missile that hit Jack's thigh, causing him to collapse onto the ground in pain. Jack rolled down the steps and crawled into the bathroom. After taking out the toy gun that had stabbed him and glancing at the scars on his neck, he was dumbfounded. To figure out what exactly had attacked him, Jack carefully opened the door and used a mirror to check outside. But in the very next moment, he was forced to shut the door quickly. Furious, Jack went to his room, grabbed a pistol from the drawer, and resolutely rushed out to fight back. Yet it was obvious that this small pistol couldn't harm his enemy. So, in order to take them down, he retrieved his submachine gun from the wine cabinet and launched a fierce counterattack. After a violent round of shooting, seeing no more movement, Jack lifted the sofa only to be instantly stunned. The group of toy soldiers on the ground suddenly came alive. Before he could react, they began firing wildly at him. Jack immediately fought back, but the next second, 3 toy planes swarmed at him and launched missile attacks. Although he narrowly dodged them, it was now clear that these toy planes intended to kill him. But what they didn't know was that Jack, as a top assassin, was not so easily defeated. Under the heavy fire, he retreated into the bathroom and quickly shut the door. Yet before he could catch his breath, a hole was blasted open in the door, and a helicopter flew in, frantically searching for him. Luckily, Jack had a quick idea. He grabbed a towel and pounced. But at that moment, a missile flew straight at him. He was forced to fire back with his gun. Realizing the situation was bad, the toy soldiers fled, leaving only one plane struggling inside the towel. Seeing this, Jack had a crazy idea. He opened the toilet, threw the soldier, wrapped in the cloth, inside, flushed, and stuffed the cloth into the doorway. But before he could finish his plan, noises came from the toilet bowl. Helpless, Jack grabbed a nearby hairdryer, opened the lid, and tossed it inside. Instantly, the soldiers went silent. Yet at this moment, a note was slid under the door. It demanded that Jack surrender. But when he saw it, Jack's face showed defiance, because in his dictionary, there was no such word as surrender. He immediately wrote "screw you" on the note and shoved it back. However, curiosity drove him to peek out through the hole, and in the very next second, dozens of shells blasted toward the bathroom. Realizing he couldn't stay, Jack climbed out of the window, intending to slip into another room and sneak attack the toy soldiers. But he didn't know that a helicopter had already crept up behind him. Pain surged through his body, knocking him to the ground. Yet he dared not move recklessly, for if he slipped, he would fall from the building. The helicopter fired wildly at him. Fortunately, Jack raised his gun and fought back, destroying the threat. Then he climbed back inside through the window. Taking advantage of the fact that the toy soldiers hadn't noticed him, he came up with a way to wipe them all out at once. He used a yellow rubber duck as bait to distract them, then snuck around behind. Using a fire extinguisher to block their vision, he lit a flamethrower and sprayed the armored vehicles on the ground. Just like that, after his series of operations, Jack quickly eliminated all the toy soldiers. After confirming their numbers and making sure none had escaped, he threw them into the microwave to melt them down.